So when it comes to leaks and rumors about the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo's next-gen system, we haven't really been getting any for the last couple of days, but just recently, a few hours ago, a credible leaker has posted a lot of information in regards to Nintendo's next-gen system, and a lot of people are talking about this, and it sounds really kind of insane if we take a look at everything here. So this is definitely making me excited, and I do want to talk about it, because there's definitely some people right now who are also looking at this information and kind of just dismissing it right away and saying that we shouldn't believe it at all. It looks too fake and too good to be true, where I feel like what they're kind of doing is not really looking at the information from the right lens or the right point of view, and that's why I feel like I should make this video to kind of explain how I'm viewing this, because I still feel like the stuff that they're saying here has a possibility of being real. I'm not saying that it's 100% confirmed, but I feel like we just kind of need to view it the right way. Now real quick before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I am having a special giveaway for reaching 55,000 subscribers, or I'm giving away $55 on the Nintendo eShop, so if you want to have a chance to win an eShop gift card for $55, definitely be sure to click the link below in the description or the pinned comment and definitely go through there. It does end at the start of September, so you don't have a lot of time, so definitely be sure to go ahead and enter for a chance to win. Alright, so here we are on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, where all this information is coming from, and it seems like the person who's leaking this goes by the name of I'm a Hero 2, and so I did some research on this person, and it seems like they were a leaker on the Resetera forum, who's actually leaked a lot of stuff and has turned out to be true, so they do seem to be somewhat reputable, and they're not just kind of pulling stuff out of thin air. And so they made this post here saying, clarifying recent leaks and adding new info regarding Sega and Square. Yes, it's I'm a Hero 2, and I'm going to stay on Reddit from now on. And in the post it says, morning, I had to create this account because apparently people are posing as me on a Discord. I'll verify with a Reset member seconds after this post. I'm no longer going to leak on Reset, it's too risky, so I'll keep it here as it's more anonymous and it's a shared account with other insiders. Moving on for clarity, I have no Sony info, so whatever is out there connected to me in regards to Sony plans is not me, I'm sorry. And so it seems like they have leaks here for multiple companies and stuff, so they have stuff about like Sega with a new Sonic game and Persona 6 and stuff like that. I don't really care about all that type of stuff. What we're here for is the Nintendo Switch 2, where it says right here, Switch 2 dev kits have been here for a while. I can verify it is backwards compatible with a few games tested, new cartridge, new camera feature. So there's already a lot to unpack in this. It says here, Switch 2 dev kits have been here for a while. This I feel like is 100% true. We've heard this from other insiders and just other gaming journalists and stuff too. I definitely believe that if the next Nintendo system is supposed to come out next year, then at this point right now, there's definitely developers who have the next gen Nintendo system dev kits and they're already working on games and getting stuff ready for it, so that I feel like is very believable. Then it says here, I can verify it is backwards compatible with a few games tested. This honestly I feel like to me makes a lot of sense too. I know backwards compatible is kind of a little up in the air right now because the report that came out, some people were saying that it's not backwards compatible, some people were saying like third parties were pushing for there to not be backwards compatibility and stuff like that. I honestly feel like the next Nintendo system though is definitely going to be backwards compatible. It would be such a weird missed opportunity and just really dumb for them to not do backwards compatibility, especially because they've done it for pretty much any system where they're able to do it. So we've seen like the Wii backwards compatible with GameCube, we've seen, you know, like the Wii U backwards compatible with the Wii, and especially with Nintendo's handhelds, they've always done it where you can play like GBA games on a DS and you can play DS games on a 3DS. So I'm not expecting there to not be backwards compatibility. I feel like it's definitely going to happen. But now comes the interesting part where they're saying here there's going to be a new cartridge. So this of course makes sense because I don't expect the next gen Nintendo system to use the exact same cartridge as the current Nintendo Switch, but then it also makes you wonder, how is it going to have a new cartridge but also be backwards compatible? Because there's actually two ways that this can happen. The first way is they could try to do what they did with the Nintendo 3DS, where it's going to be just one cartridge slot, but you can put in like next gen Nintendo Switch 2 games, but it also accepts like the last generation normal Nintendo Switch cartridges as well, just like how on the 3DS you can put in a 3DS cartridge which is white, but you can also put in like a gray DS cartridge and they both can still read them and it can still play the games. So it could be like that. or it could be like what they did with the DS, where there's two different slots on the system, where on the top you can put in DS games for like the next gen games, and then on the bottom you can put in GBA games for like last gen stuff. So they could do that on the Switch too, where maybe there's going to be two cartridge slots where one of them can read like the next gen Nintendo Switch 2 games and another one is for like the last gen Nintendo Switch games. So it could be like that. We don't know exactly how it's going to work, but I do feel like it's going to be one of those ways for sure. And I mean, the fact that it is going to be backwards compatible, I hope that that is really the case. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, would be so disappointed if the next gen Nintendo system isn't backwards compatible, but I do expect that going forward. Like, I feel like there's so many people who just wouldn't buy a Switch 2 right away if you told them that you're not going to be able to play your current Nintendo Switch games on it. So I feel like if you do tell them that it is going to be backwards compatible, it's going to be a huge incentive for them to buy the next gen system. And especially with like Nintendo Switch Online and carrying over all the DLC and everything, it just makes a lot of sense. So I'm definitely expecting that. But now here's where a lot of like kind of the discussion about this is happening, because it says here there's going to be a new camera feature. And pretty much once people have heard this, this is where everybody starts to dismiss this, like, oh, this is fake, they're not going to do this, why would they do this, why would they add a camera? But honestly, the way that I'm reading this, I feel like what they're saying here is that there's going to be a different type of camera feature, because some people are interpreting this as there's going to be like an actual camera on the next gen Nintendo system, which of course that could still happen too. We have seen cameras on Nintendo systems. The DSi of course had a camera, the 3DS had cameras, but I don't think that that's what they're talking about here. I think they're talking about like a different type of camera, and I feel like people are just kind of misinterpreting this. But honestly, if they do add just a normal camera to the next gen Nintendo system, I feel like that would be such a waste in my opinion, because the cameras that we have right now on like the DSi and the 3DS, let's be real, they're really poor quality. Like, they're very pixelated and fuzzy if you've taken any pictures with it. So I'm not expecting like a really good looking camera to be on the next gen Nintendo system either. And even if they do put like a high definition camera or something, that's going to make the cost of the system go up so much because of that camera. So honestly, it would just be a waste, I feel like, to have an actual camera on the next gen Nintendo system, because when the DSi came out and the 3DS, it was still kind of during the age where smartphones weren't really super popular, I would say. But nowadays, smartphones have become so mainstream that everybody just has a really nice camera pretty much on their iPhone or Android in their pocket. So having a Switch getting a camera, or like the next gen Nintendo handheld, would just be really dumb. But that's why what I think here they're talking about is a different camera feature, because if you guys didn't know, the current Nintendo Switch that we all have right now technically has a camera feature as well. And it's at the bottom of the right Joy-Con, which is like this IR motion camera or something, where this camera can basically detect the motion and the objects that you're kind of putting with different shapes of different like gestures with your hands and things. So this is actually a camera that we do have right now on the current Nintendo Switch. And I do feel like this is also a wasted thing too, because I don't know how many games are actually even using this feature. I can't actually think of a single game that actually uses this IR camera, but it is there on the current Nintendo Switch. So I feel like it could be referring to something like that, where maybe there's going to be a better IR camera, or there's going to be some type of AR camera or something like that, and not like an actual camera to take pictures of people's faces or anything like that. So that's how I'm interpreting this. So I feel like that could be something that Nintendo decides to do, and maybe that is going to be some new technology that they're going to add for this system. Alright, and here is where pretty much everybody is starting to dismiss this, because it says right here, Final Fantasy VII Remake looks and runs like a PS5 game on Switch 2 dev kit. The port took no time, I'm told. It could be a launch game, I'm not sure yet. So pretty much once people read this, this is where people are starting to not believe this at all, but I feel like we're kind of just interpreting this incorrectly. It says here they're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it says here that it looks and runs like a PS5 game on the Switch 2 dev kit. What I feel like this is trying to say is that it's going to run better than the PS4 version, which honestly, if the next Nintendo system comes out and it's a little bit more powerful than a PS4, that I feel like is pretty much lining up exactly with what's been rumored in terms of power, and it would make perfect sense. And if it is going to be better than a PS4, then it would be running and looking like a PS5 game. I don't think that they're saying here that it literally is going to look and run like a PS5 game. Obviously, we all know that the next Nintendo system is not going to be as powerful as a PS5, so of course you're not going to get the game running in like native 4K or native 1440p, but if it can have like at least 60 FPS and it can run pretty fluidly in terms of that, and maybe in 1080p or just looks pretty pretty nice and crispy, 1080p 60 FPS is running better than how it did on the PS4, because Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4 was in 1080p at 30 FPS, so technically it would be running and looking better like a PS5 game. I think that's what they're trying to say here, and not that the actual game is going to look as good as it does on the real PS5 when it's running natively on that system. And let's not forget, Final Fantasy VII Remake is not a brand new next-gen game. It was made for last generation with the PS4, and if all the leaks and rumors are pointing towards the next-gen Nintendo system being just as powerful as the PS4 or slightly more, then it should be able to run Final Fantasy VII Remake really well on the system, so it does make a lot of sense. We have seen this game also get ported to the Steam Deck, which is pretty much in the same ballpark too, with the amount of power that it has compared to a PS4, and if it can run on there too, it honestly doesn't surprise me. Really, the only thing that's kind of up in the air is would Square Enix really put Final Fantasy VII Remake on a Nintendo system, and honestly I feel like it does have a chance of happening. We have seen other Final Fantasy games appear on Nintendo Switch already, like Final Fantasy VII, the original is on there, Final Fantasy like 10, I'm pretty sure, like the remaster is on there. They even put like Crisis Core when it came out last year, that remaster got on there too, so they have been putting Final Fantasy games on the Nintendo systems, so it wouldn't surprise me. But really the only thing that's a little bit weird is, would they really put Final Fantasy VII Remake on a Nintendo system before the Xbox? Because I know a lot of people on Xbox have been waiting for that game too. It's already on PC now too, so it's not like it's only exclusive to the PlayStation, so I guess it might have a chance of actually happening. And so yeah, I'm not saying everything in this post is 100% real and confirmed to happen, but I also don't think that we should just dismiss all of this as fake and it's too good to be true either, because I feel like a lot of this stuff has the possibility of actually happening, but whether or not it's actually going to, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, there you go guys, that is pretty much all the information that we have right now about Nintendo's next gen system. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well, as I'm going to be talking more about Nintendo Switch 2 as the information is coming out, so definitely be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think about all of this. How do you guys feel about the backwards compatibility, the camera feature, the possibility of Final Fantasy VII Remake being on the system? How do you guys feel about everything? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And remember to enter my giveaway as well. I'm giving away a $55 Nintendo eShop gift card, and so if you do want to have a chance to win that, all you got to do is click the link below in the description or the pinned comment. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.